St. Louis family is mourning the death of their daughter-in-law who was on the American Airlines flight last night. St. Louis 11's Kelly Hoskins continuing our team coverage this afternoon. And Kelly, you spoke with the victim's family.
Yes, Mike, such a horrible story. Tragedy there. Now, the St. Louis family is mourning the loss of their loved one. They say the plane crash last night was their worst nightmare. Now, they tell me they held on to hope last night, but now know that this is a recovery. Hassim Rasad says his nephew's wife was on board the doomed flight. Azra Hussein was from Indiana, but married St. Louisan Ahmad, and they both lived in the Washington, D.C. area where they worked as consultants. Azra had been in Kansas working on a project in Wichita. She left home Monday and was returning Wednesday night.
My nephew went to the airport and he was texting back and forth with Asra. And she indicated that she was landing in about 20 minutes. And he responded to it, and she didn't return any of his texts. And they were actually bouncing back. And then he kind of looked out from the airport. He was at Reagan, and he started to see a bunch of police presence and fire department and so forth. And nobody was answering any questions. The flight was late in arriving. It became more and more clear that something had gone wrong.
Raza says the entire family is now in D.C. to show support for Ahmad and his family.
I think there's a general sense that it's a recovery mission and not a rescue mission.
Family members say Azra had a heart of gold.
Just an absolute gem of a person, one of the kindest, most welcoming, warm people you would ever meet. Waiting for information, and at the same time, you're grieving the loss of a very close family member, and you're also filled with a lot of questions. Is that how is it that a plane landing at one of the busiest airports in the country could collide with a helicopter, as it was approaching the landing? It's something that happens, thousands and thousands of times a day. And how did this go wrong?
Senator Josh Hawley has opened up a hotline for Missourians impacted by the plane crash. He's asking people that had family members or loved ones on the flight to reach out for help. For that number, you can see it on your screen. That's 202-732-1858. Kelly Hoskins, St. Louis 11 News.